What is up, folks? Welcome back to another live stream repair. We've got a couple of HomePods here to fix up this weekend. Didn't get as much as we wanted to done yesterday. We worked on this Apple Watch Series 5 Ceramic White Edition and got a new screen put on there. It is working all fine and dandy, sans the Force Touch. So we're just waiting to figure out the battery and everything else, whether we want to replace that, and we will get that wrapped up. But for here and now, we are going to knock out a few HomePods. Let's grab a few diodes. I think two more will be okay for now. If I can get them, whatever, one more. And we got plenty of filters. All right. I also want to keep these with our watch. We don't want them going anywhere. Okay. So, yes, one more thing here really quick. Let's email David and John. Let them know that their HomePods are getting worked on here. And first up is going to be David. Wow. Very cool. Very cool truck. Alright, David's been messaged. Let's find John. Alright, boring stuff is out of the way. So, first up here we've got David's HomePod with the blinkies. We don't know if it's a software issue or a hardware issue that's causing this. Without trying a few things, the first and easiest that we will try is a good old USB restore with our handy dandy 3D printable USB adapter. We need to expose that debug port. There it is. I see the camera is struggling today. Classic Sony autofocus. Let's make sure we get that lined up just right. Alright, with how many HomePods I have right now that need new logic boards, I'm going to need all the luck that we can get that this one is just a software issue. We will plug our USB cable in. Our HomePod's already upside down. And here we go. Powered up. Our magic 3 commands. Give me a good restore, please. And while that's going, we will catch up with the chat here. Welcome, Stefan. Welcome, Shuffle Hands. You got a new screen for your phone. Very nice. Ski resort. Ooh, sounds fun. Come on. Yes. It's looking good. We're past the sketchy NAND stages already. Yes, okay. Granted, it's going to take another 10-20 minutes to actually finish restoring here, and it could still have another problem that'll stop that before it finishes, but we've gotten this far. Most hardware issues prevent it from getting this far, so what we're going to do is let it do its thing. I'm going to put this laptop off to the side. Perfect. And I, of course, took my power cable connected to my kilowatt meter here, so we'll use a different one back here. Thankfully, the next HomePod we're looking at doesn't have an issue where we really need to look at the power draw in particular. Let's take a look at John's HomePod first here. And actually, I'm not going to even plug this one in and show you guys what it's doing, just because of I did since John sent 2 HomePods in, I had to plug them both in and see which one had which issue. I believe the other one is just maintenance. One of them has bad DC filters, but it's a really loud pop. Like, I'm kind of worried about what we're gonna find inside of this. So I'd rather not potentially give it the final pop and make it blow something up that we could possibly save and reuse here. We're going to jump right on into it while we let David restore off to the side here. Let's get both their names up on the screen, and then we'll jump into this. We're already like 30% of the way through the software restore on David's HomePod. Looks like we've got great chances going for you. So let's see what's going on inside of John's HomePod here. And I'll go ahead and put that on there so you guys know who that is. And I am talking a little quietly today because everybody's currently napping. I almost fell asleep, but then I remembered how much I have to fix. Now, there's a lot going on. and I've got to keep that 3D printer going. I am like a week behind on those USB adapters right now. You need a wireless gaming mouse? Everybody's gonna hate me for this, but I was born and raised on this kind of mouse for gaming, on PC in particular. My very first game that I ever played, I think, on PC was on my dad's desktop. It was Unreal Tournament on a mouse just like that, but it wasn't wireless. A more acceptable, crowd-pleasing answer would be the Logitech G502, or whatever the wireless version of that is. What they've done with the latency on the wireless one of the G502, insane. Supposedly lower latency than the wired versions of the mice, but that was also that mouse is a few years old now. I'm sure the game's changed a bit since then. But I love that trackball mouse, and I love my Logitech G502, but frankly, I haven't even used either of those. I haven't been using any mouse the past few years other than the one built into my keyboard, my trackpoint mouse here, and obviously the trackpad on my MacBook. But if it had a trackpoint built in, you bet I'd be using that. But I would never game on a trackpad. No. I'll plug in an Xbox controller before I game on a trackpad. We're about 70% through David's software restore. Looking great. Marvin, welcome. Bam, welcome back. Alright, our first potential victim here with filters gone as bad as they did in this. Our subwoofer. Let's give it a sniff. Huzzah! This smells fantastic. We'll replace that foam subwoofer gasket that goes around here on our way back together. Aaron, welcome back, man. Welcome back. Hope you all have been well out there. It's a little dark in there. Why is that? There we go. Guess what? We'll give that a quick unplug. We plug it back in. We wait just a minute. But it looks like David's HomePod has taken a successful software restore. I did not, Marvin. I'm so sorry. I've got like 100 unread messages right now. We're not going to get anywhere that cold. We got to really crank it up for these. Hey, see you later. All right. So David successfully restored. We're gonna let it test overnight before we crack it open for the hardware maintenance that they wanted for it. That way, if it has any other issues, we can address them while we have it apart for maintenance tomorrow instead of doing the maintenance today and then having to crack it open tomorrow for some other unforeseen issue. But in any case, congrats, David. It looks like, pending any testing issues overnight, that was just a software issue. You can feel free to write a strongly worded letter to Apple, letting them know your immense disappointment in their inability to provide any kind of solution, and then to leave it up to us to figure it out and prove them wrong. That makes me so salty. I would so much rather at least be able to just worry about and focus on all the hardware issues instead of having to handle all their software stuff too. But here we are. That is all right. So we'll get some flux on this board here. Let's go ahead and clean up the names on the screen. So let's get John's board all maintained. There we go, very nice. So what we're replacing here are the DC filters. These are what went bad and are causing John's HomePod to pop rather loudly. Quite surprised that their subwoofer is still good, to be honest. But we'll get these replaced with a good new set that should far outlast the originals that Apple used. You thought disaster struck. That's just another day here. I do think I am actually going to need 500 though. This board, between the board sucking up as much heat as it does and my hot air station being as cheap as it is, there we go. Make sure those are nice. Not touching nothing. Very good. Alright, do we need a new Schottky diode while we're in here? These look to fail and cause no power, but not these ones. That's a different date range than what tends to fail. So one last casualty here. We've got a 10 ohm resistor that's looking quite roasty, so we'll get that replaced. The Bose Acoustimass. Oh, buddy. There isn't a whole lot cooler than that, dude. Oh yeah, that did really fall apart. You need food. Go eat. Aren't you getting food right now? Hey, glad you could make it, John. Oh yeah, that auction has 4 days left. It'll probably go up to like at least $100. If it's a working or untested one, it'll go up to at least $100+. $110 to $130. Broken ones will go up to like $80. But it's usually only on the last day down to the last hour or so. Dan, what is up? Welcome back. Offer them $13. I can't make an offer. That's not how those ones work. I'll place my bid on it at the last second. Alright, now I'm not so afraid to plug this in. And let's go ahead and message the next fella up for repair here. Okay. And let's get the screen fixed up here. Nobody noticed the typo in my DC filters?
I'm having trouble connecting.
Oh, that's way better.
I'm having trouble connecting.
All right, I don't even think it. Yeah. Okay, there we go. That is so much better. We'll let it settle in and rest and test overnight. But that, man, I should have taken a video of it. I just didn't expect it to be as loud as it was when I first plugged it in. I was not going to do that again. But here we go. Let's go ahead and knock out the maintenance on this one here, just go ahead and do a quick sanity check and make sure we're not diving into something with issues here. Yeah, so this one's got the clicky.
I'm having trouble connecting to
The
the
clicky clicks as well. They all do. Even second gens do it. The minis don't do it because they're so small and low powered compared to the big boys here. Any serious audio amplifier is going to make a little click as it turns on and off. But nonetheless, yeah, at this age, all these HomePods are probably starting to. I used to always say, don't bother doing maintenance if it's working fine. I'm slowly starting to lean more towards do some maintenance while things are still working before it has issues that cause more damage, but we're not there yet. In general, it seems that most people's HomePods behave just fine, and they give pretty good and clear safe signs before, as long as you don't ignore them. You know, if it stops turning on, or if it starts death farting, or if you start having bass issues, don't keep using it. That's how you get more problems. I mean, when Apple gives you a literal black, or in this case white box, that you can't see inside of and they don't tell you how anything works, can you really blame most people for not being able to tell what's normal and what's not and when things are going wrong? Like, actually damaging wrong. Devil's Hi-Fi. Heavy. Epi, welcome back. Glad to hear the HomePod's still bumping just fine. I expect no less. So we're gonna do a little bit of maintenance to this one. First and foremost, it'll prevent the same issues from happening like what happened with John's other HomePod. It'll protect the subwoofer from DC voltage getting to it and roasting it over time with a new set of filters. We'll see if it needs a new Schottky diode to prevent the no power issue. Only a certain date range of those diodes fails, so not all of them need to be replaced, but we know which ones to look for. And I don't expect anything else, but if there's anything else stinky inside, we'll take a look at it. Come on. Oh, no worries, no worries. I didn't even see I don't even see any doubt. Hold on, let me catch up with the chat. For all I know, you said my mom smells. I'm opening up the second HomePod on my surgery although less loud, perhaps the same component. Oh yes, 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 absolutely. Yep, that's all on the table here. At minimum, any HomePod that we take apart is going to get new filters to prevent death farts and all sorts of bass issues and stinky subwoofers. And then we look out for a certain date range of Schottky diodes that cause no power. Also, every single HomePod gets a new one of these subwoofer gaskets, since the originals are made of foam and you saw how easy it fell apart. Also, we use rubbing alcohol to help take these apart, and the foam loves to suck it up, and I can weaken it, so it behooves us to replace those with something that lasts longer, and the solid rubber replacement gives you a slightly better bass response. So between a stereo pair of HomePods that you're getting back, John, you should notice, and with a fresh set of filters on both, you should notice a fair good difference in your bass response coming back from these. Okay, alright, here we go. Filters first. Actually, let's see. Would you look at that? A 48K dated Schottky diode. So if it wasn't here for a bit of maintenance now, it probably would have needed to come back to us for no power issues further down the road. We'll get these filters replaced first, then we'll get a new diode to prevent that power issue. And that should make it pretty happy. Old filters be gone. We'll get some flux on there to help clear up the oxidation on our pads. Put some fresh solder down. And get some brand new filters on there. Fantastic. Okay. And then let's get that diode replaced to prevent our power issue. Alright, that should be it. We don't need to worry about that 10 ohm resistor here. This doesn't just go bad on its own. That's usually just a casualty of filters gone bad. So since we replaced the filters as a preventative measure, we don't need to replace the resistor unless it's visibly damaged. Hold up. One thing that I do need to do really quick, I need to... a little bit of alcohol and a little wipe down. I do need to start cleaning my boards. If we wanna be the good guys, we gotta clean our boards even if we're using no clean flux. We've gotten our process down so fast that I think we can add another minute or two back to everyone's repairs and clean their boards, putting them back together. And don't worry, I did do that on the John's other one too. Not the end of the world, like I said, it's no clean flux, and that is some pretty good no clean flux. But you can't deny it looks better. And if someone opens it back up again in the future, it's just easier to work with again. No, we will definitely not have time for that, Stefan. I'm so sorry. Well, okay. I'll say I'll be surprised if everybody is still asleep by the time we get through the queue. But I don't want them to have to go through the smell and the fumes. Like, actually. We only do that when no one's home. Is it true? We'll see. Nothing's certain. Until it actually happens, I'll say it's about as true as him ever selling Twitter. From how many times he said he was going to do that or step down or whatever. We'll see. Look at that. It still works. So 3239 is coming up here in just a pod or two. Let's let them know they're coming up soon.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Very good, very nice.
I'm having trouble connecting.
And, I mean, exactly the same as before. That's good. We've got 3563 now here. So we'll let John's HomePods, thank goodness they didn't put up much of a fuss. They didn't stink too bad, so I don't expect anything to crop up overnight. But let's look at 3563. Oh no, this is E. I don't have their name, I believe. More than that, let me check. Okay, dang it. Haven't gotten it yet. That's okay. So we should have...
I'm having trouble connecting.
Oh wow, quite
I'm having trouble connecting.
the lack of bass. So let's get this apart and get it fixed. Now, what could have caused this? Well, usually it's those 4 filters that we always replace first and foremost. Sometimes it's just a random short on the amplifier here or there. Sometimes it's a bit of a catastrophic failure of the amplifier somewhere. It's a bit of a mixed bag and you don't know till you get it apart and poke around. So let's find out. Hopefully I always prefer just a shorted cap on the amp. That means that the subwoofer is just fine. And we don't have a case of filter's gone bad that roasted the subwoofer. Yeah, that is a weird dream. I did say, and this might be why you dreamed of it. I did say if I'd probably buy a Tesla if I can buy it for $4,000 or less off Craigslist. That goes for pretty much any car for me. Well, not any car, but any car that's got any kind of gut-so to it. Love 'em or hate 'em, electric cars got some gut-so to them. There is somebody on YouTube that did put a Tesla drivetrain in a Z32 300ZX already. They actually made a recent video on it. Based on the smooth feeling actuation and lack of any burn marks on the outside here, I'm gonna wager a guess that this subwoofer is just fine. And we've got a random short somewhere on our amplifier. Oh goody. Exactly what I wanted. Let's see if I was right. Yes, that subwoofer is just fine. Oh, but I do see... I do see a bit of toastiness on our 10 ohm resistor. Which, again, would indicate a filter issue. But maybe they were starting to go bad and something else failed and caused our bass issues, because that subwoofer looks and smells fine. Let's get a closer look. Alright, I don't see any obvious physical damage from any filters gone bad, so let's take a look at some of our more obvious suspects over here. Let's see if we can get you guys better. That's about as good as it's gonna get, I'm sorry. Alright, let's poke around for some shorts where we usually see them. Let's make sure everything's working. Alright, and this is our first suspect right here. 22 microfarad cap. Just right off the bat. That's our guy. And you know we've seen it enough times when it's not only the first thing that we go and check for, but I've got a whole strip of replacements ready to go. So let's get that replaced. Very nice. Okay, let's go ahead and replace those filters as part of our preventative maintenance. This thing's gonna need it all. It's gonna need a new Schottky diode too, since those fail and cause no power. This board is needy. That will clear up with the hot air. Alright, sorry about that. Kids woke up in a very grumpy mood, so you'll just have to bear with it. So here we've got that 48K date code on there. We gotta replace that before it fails and causes no power. The kid in here fix homepods. I don't think she wants to sit. Yeah, it will be crazy if we're still fixing HomePods 15 years later. I wonder what they'll be doing 15 years from now. How they'll work. If they'll still work. I mean, as long as you keep around the network to support them, I don't see why not. Sounds like we're probably going to have to go after this one unless she calms down. Does the kid have a mini? Kinda. She's a little too young to leave her unattended with one. It's, you know, kind of a strangulation hazard with the cord. But so far she hasn't done anything stupid like that, so. Jeez, you never know until Gotta be careful. It's not a kid's toy. Stefan's got it right. Oh, that's funny. We were at the playground. We took our kid to the playground yesterday to let her run around. And this kid ran up to me. They must have been like 3 or 4. And they walked up to me and they were like, "Whoa, you have no hair." I was like, "Yep, I'm bald. I said what you said, Stefan. I said I never have a bad hair day. I just wake up and go." Yeah, that's what'll probably happen. You guys will all be losing your hair, and I'll be taking it all. I'll be growing it all back. No, Stefan, we're not. We're leaving after this. Listen, Stefan, with that attitude, I won't even stream tomorrow. Just look at the weather and tell me you could sit inside any longer. with it looking like that. We gotta get that kid outside. Oh yeah, that color, the color on that camera is just off. It's weird like that. Ah, perfect timing. The camera's about to overheat and shut down too. Sometimes the universe just tells you it's time. Let's see if we can at least get this tested and hear that beautiful bass before the camera dies.
I'm having trouble connecting to the...
Yes, folks, that's fixed. That's all we've got time for, and
I'm having trouble connecting.
I think it's time to enjoy some nice weather while we still got it. Hope you all enjoyed this live stream repair, and we'll always be back with more. And I hope to catch you in the next one.